Hey, welcome to the Maybe You're Like Me podcast with me, Mike Burns. Listen, I know we're all more alike than we care to think. We've all got dreams, we've all got hopes, but sometimes we can feel a little alone trying to navigate in this crazy world we live in. So, this podcast is all about you, and it's all about me and how maybe we're a little more alike than we care to think. Welcome to Maybe You're Like Me. On today's episode, we have a good friend. Her name is Sharon. She is an amazing songwriter, musician, but beyond that, she is just so incredibly fun. Not only is the conversation fun, but it's insightful, and I think you're going to have a really good time getting to meet my friend, Sharon. So let's take it away. Here's Sharon. Sharon, I'm so happy you are here on Maybe You're Like Me. This is so much fun for me. It's so good to see you. How are you doing, friend?
I am so happy to be here with you, Mike. It's been too long. I don't know how long it's been. It really has.
So I was thinking about that. When was the last time you were in Lakeland? That's probably the last time I saw you in person.
Oh, it's got to be at least 10 years, like something ridiculous like that. So yeah, it's been way too long. But yeah, I mean, I follow you. I feel like I'm somewhat connected with what you're doing, but it's so good to see you in person.
I hope so. I am the absolute worst about posting things on the internet. So anything you see is very random. But it actually kind of brings me to what this whole podcast is about, because what you see online of me and what I see online of you is honestly, it's what you want me to see. And so
sure. Yeah.
The thing that I like about you is this, though. I feel like you've done some amazingly cool things and you've gone through some valleys, and you're just really honest about a lot of stuff that's been happening in your life. And so I've known you for like 15 years now, something in that range, which is kind of bonkers.
It's crazy.
For those people that don't know you, like, just give us like the quick rundown. Who is Sharon Doolittle?
Yeah.
Did I get that right?
Yeah, that's my married name. So I've been Sharon the bird for 33 years as of last year. But yeah, that question, it's so simple, but yeah, it's hard to answer. So I'm a worship leader. My heart beats for songwriting, for creating fresh music and really capturing fresh language for people to sing to the Father, and to, just people to be encouraged through that fresh language of songwriting. And I just love anything creative. So I just finished a little write every day challenge where I was like, well, if I'm going to challenge myself to write every day, I'm going to make sure like I can loop in as many people as I can. So I just love collaborating, being creative with people. Yeah. And I think the creative process is meant to be a collaborative one. And so I love worship lead worship at my church, at Kingsway Church. I oversee the creation, production, release of all original music from my church. Shout out, shameless plug for Kingsway Worship. June 10th, we have a single coming out, which everyone go follow us on Spotify and all that stuff. But yeah, I just, it's been, it's crazy to look back on your life and to see the story, because I never expected my story to look like it does. A big part of my story was in 2018. I lost my mom to cancer. Yeah. And that's really shaped a lot of who I am, and a lot of a lot of motivation as to why I do the things that I do with such passion or such urgency, is because I realized throughout that whole process was how much of a luxury time is, and that we really don't have much of it to waste being fearful, being, wondering what people are going to think of you, all that stuff that we kind of get in our heads about, that blocks us from reaching our full potential. We don't really have that much time to waste on all those things. Like when God has created us for a purpose, to accomplish a purpose. So that was a huge I think a huge thing that has shaped me as a person. And I'm recently married as of last year.
Yeah, congratulations.
So 2021. Yeah, it was just a crazy year. The whole pandemic thing. It was wild, but praise God, and His timing's perfect. And I'm just super grateful to be where I am, who I am today. And I'm sure you realize this too, Mike. But the older I get, the more comfortable I am being myself,
Yeah.
which is incredible, because I would not trade that for any of the, insecurity of like my early 20s or any of all of that stuff. That's probably when we met, right? Like in the raging insecurity of our early 20s. But like it's so cool to be on this journey with the Lord, because He uses everything. He uses every part of your story. And even if you can't see it in the moment, it's all being redeemed. Truly.
Yeah. You're a person that, because I knew you in college, and then we haven't really talked a ton outside of just seeing each other on the internet, but you're a person that I've watched from far. And I think I've actually messaged you this a couple times. I've tried to, there's a few friends that I have that they're just, it seems like they're doing it, and I don't know what doing it means, but I don't
either.
But it seems like you are living the life that you're supposed to be living, and I'm so proud of you. So, and I know that
thanks.
A guy that you haven't seen in 10 years, my pride probably isn't a huge deal in your life, but I really am proud of you. I love seeing the things you're creating, how you encourage people, and you're just a rock star. So
stop. I'll pay you later.
Yeah. This is all part of my get rich slow scheme, and it is working.
Every compliment, $20.
All right. So just for funsies, if somebody's following you totally just on Instagram, what do you think they would know about you? Just what's your filtered Sharon?
Well, there's not much of a difference, but
that's a good thing. I like that about you.
I love making fun of myself. I love just being stupid and silly, and I love I find myself hilarious, and not in that the cleverness or the whatever, but in stupid things where I made a stupid face while leading worship. Recently, I found this gem that when I was leading worship, I had this like this face. And I'm like, when would that ever be appropriate in a worship set? I don't know. But I thought it was hilarious. And so
was it a John Mayer in the Zone face?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't even know what's happening up there. But
just for fun, real quick, how big can you frown? That was a pretty big frown. Can you go bigger?
I think my jaw is quaking. So
also asking how big somebody can frown is fantastic for a podcast. Absolutely nobody else could see that but me. But it made me happy. So everybody else out there, it looked a lot like Robert De Niro. So
I was gonna say I feel like I channeled oh gosh, what's his name? The late night host with the big jaw. The Jay Leno. Yeah.
For a second I thought you were Jay. So
yeah. Yeah.
But
it's okay. I'm not really him.
Oh, okay. Thank God. All right. So we've already learned so many things about you. Number one, you're silly. Number two, you frown like Jay Leno. So that's, I feel like.
I mean, what else do you need to know?
we're only a few minutes into this. I think we should probably just go ahead and close it out. So I think we learned everything.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. Yeah. So on the podcast, I like to do a few rounds of questions. This first round it's not supposed to be the most serious thing in the world, but I actually heard about a Harvard Business School study that they talked about the importance of asking questions. And so they say on your first date, if you want to be more attractive, just ask a bunch of questions. But I've also seen this thing online where people have been in a relationship for a long time and they're just single again. And they're like, if somebody asks me my favorite color again one more time, I'm going to lose it. So yeah. So this isn't that, but I've got a couple first date questions, some kind of get to know you things. And these are pretty telling. So just bring the heat. Are you ready for it?
All right. I don't know. Ready or not. Here we go.
First off, what is your go-to karaoke song?
Oh, Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? That is my favorite karaoke song. And you know why? Because Janis Joplin is just the best.
Yeah.
And I just like, it's like a strange, it really brings a vibe down, like wherever you are. But I think it's hilarious because, again, I'm always trying to clearly just make everyone laugh all the time. Maybe I need to go into stand-up comedy. But anyways, I love Mercedes Benz.
Okay, that's
Janis
great.
Joplin.
Yeah.
She's so fun.
I don't do karaoke a lot, but a long time ago I did karaoke and I was dead set on doing Let's Give Them Something to Talk About.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to, there was somebody who had like just like pumped the crowd if they had done like a Black Eyed Peas song and they're like,
oh,
can you please not do Let's Give Them Something to Talk About? And I was like, come on, man, this is my jam. I really wanted
This is my time. Well, you know what the worst is with karaoke is like you realize how that you like how little you actually know the song. Like you probably only know the chorus and you think you know all the lyrics, but you really don't. You only know the main parts.
Okay.
That's the most telling part.
So say that like you got captured and they say, we are going to kill you unless you can completely do one song. What's that one song that you could just do flawlessly right now? Is it your Mercedes Benz?
Oh, probably. It's probably that or like one of the songs that I've written, but that's like cheating. Right?
Yeah, I don't think that counts.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't count.
Yeah, maybe I would do like Kumbaya, really just sell it. So.
Oh, to keep it simple. Yeah, I guess if you had a gun to your head, you'd probably choose like Jesus Loves Me or something.
The alphabet song. But I'm dyslexic and I'd probably mess that up and then I'm just a goner.
ZYXW. Oh, you do it backwards. Okay.
Can you do it backwards?
I don't know. I kind of don't want to finish because that was a strong start. I don't want to ruin it by finishing.
Stop there. Everybody else is going to be really impressed with what you just did. I am. So I can't even do that. Even like when like I'm playing games with my kids and it's like we have to go through the alphabet. In my brain, I am starting over the alphabet every letter. Like after we get past like D, I'm like A, B, C, D, E. Okay, E. We're going to do an E. It's E's for egg now. A, B, C, D, E, F.
Yes, and I knew that.
Yeah, I'm the adult here. I know these things.
And I did not have to sing the song.
No, don't. And if my kids are listening someday, I'm sorry that we just learned something about each other. So, all right, that's fantastic. So, just for funsies, are you a gift giver or receiver? Which one do you enjoy more?
I like giving more than receiving, and I don't know if you're into the Enneagram at all, but like I know everyone like talks about it here ad nauseum. So I don't want to get too far into that, but giving is clearly, I think, better than receiving just because it's like you get to choose like a gift to someone's specifications. Like, you know, oh, like I know they like one of my friends like loves the game Catan. Do you guys know Catan? Yeah. It's like a mini obsession, but like super huge Catan person. And so like we found like all these like random accessories that you probably wouldn't need for the game of Catan. But I was like, the fact that A, this exists and B, that I found it for this specific person, it's like, oh, like that's, I don't know, that's the best when you can just like get something that's tailored to someone.
Yeah, so, absolutely. So giving. So the Catan, is there any other things that like you just like, I knocked this out of the park? As far as like, what is the best gift you've ever given?
I give really strange gifts. Okay, so one of my favorite things to give to people, to close friends only have received gifts like this for me. My spiritual gift is bad Photoshop. So I like to create these booklets, like these mini books full of this like narrative. So for example, my best friend loved this, this athletic player. I'm going to keep it really vague for everyone's protection. Okay. She loved this one athlete, right? Okay. And so in this booklet, I made the story of like their love story, like their life together. So like I made this fake booklet.
She didn't just love this player. She loved this player.
So in my book, in my narrative that I gave her, they got married and had a kid. So
congratulations.
I created this whole story of like compiled of like super awful like Photoshop jobs, like with his face posted over like someone else that was like a real person and her photo. And And I just created like their whole like, oh, this is like their first date. And like, this is like when he popped the question. And it was just like these stock photos with like their faces on them.
I love it.
I don't know why I find such joy in doing that.
That is
hopefully
fantastic.
the person receiving it finds as much joy.
All right. So let's flip that on its head. Say that somebody was going to make you a love book. Who's your celebrity crush that we're going to throw you into the mix with?
I don't get into celebrities.
Why is it Zach Morris? You can tell me. It's okay.
Zach Morris. No, well, back in the day it was Zac Efron.
Okay.
But that was like, High School Musical era.
We're
it's
all
not
in this together. It's okay.
It's not this new Zac Efron. It was the old school OG. But yeah, I guess if I had, again, the last like 15 years, I'm like, ugh. You just see people's humanity. They're like, they're just normal people. They just happen to be like in front of a camera like 90% of the time. I guess I'd have to say my 20-year-old self would probably say Zac Efron or 19, 20, whatever, somewhere in that era.
I'll allow it. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna get to photoshopping on you and young Zach in love forever and
Actually,
ever and ever.
I have to say, the same friend that I made this booklet for at the time, huge Phil Wickham fan, still a huge Phil Wickham fan, right?
Sure,
he's a goat. But she photoshopped our like faces together and like framed it, and so it looks like an actual, like she did an actually good job, so it kind of looks real, but it's clearly not. But that's one of the best gifts I probably ever received.
Do you remember that book? It's probably 10, 15 years old now. The Secret. Everybody's like, yeah, if you speak it, you can manifest it, that kind of thing. I'm going to The Secret this for you. I want you guys to release an album together. You and Phil making music together.
Phil, if you ever hear this, I've been a fan since day one, since the first record.
Phil's
back in
an avid
2006.
listener, so he's going to hear this. If you want to say anything to Phil right now, this is your chance to tell Phil Wickham exactly
Let's write a song.
All right. So speaking of writing, this is the last question in this first date round. What is a word that you cannot spell without autocorrect? You can fill a book with the words that I
can. It's all the French ones, right? Like hors d'oeuvres. You know,
that's not a word.
Like you have to say like hors d'oeuvres. And even still, I can't, even that isn't very helpful. Like the other one, reservoir.
Yeah.
Or no, repertoire. All of those French sounding words, not a shot, not a chance.
Yeah. Mine are any of the words that like I, that just destroys my brain.
There should not be that many vowels in a row.
No. Also, English is just the worst.
The worst.
I've got a few friends that are, they've come into town as transfer students from different countries. And I feel for them because English is kind of the worst.
It's
I don't know if people are doing
hard.
it. So
I don't either. I'm barely
French words.
fluent. I know, right? I know. Then we got to mix in all these other ones.
Do you feel like you reach into like a special part of your brain when you're songwriting to like just pull out random words?
Well, it's like a reservoir. No, it is. It's like when you read. So I like to read a lot. So subconsciously, I'm collecting words, right? Like, I guess essentially that's what you could call reading, a collecting of words. So I'm always, I guess, adding to my personal library of like vocabulary as I read, and it's also great to read above your like what's comfortable, like someone who's super smart. So like every other paragraph, you have to be like, I don't know what that means. And then you have to go and look it up.
Yep.
So I just enjoy, and I'm not a fast reader by any stretch of the imagination. I just like the process of like chewing on what I'm like reading. So like, it'll take me like twice as long to read a book, but it's because I'm like digesting it. I'm like, I'm really taking it in and wanting to know exactly what the author meant. And like, oh, if he was referring to another like book or article, I have to stop and I have to go read that article. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I get sidetracked, quote unquote, but it's really helpful to know the context of what he's actually saying, because that's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
So That's why it also takes me forever to like read anything in the Bible. Because I'm like, wait, what are they referring to? And then it sends me on this rabbit trail of like, I don't know. I feel like a crazy person with a map, like with the strings and the map, and like they're trying to like track a serial killer.
Mind? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. I always like books that have like a good amount of footnotes, but not like, I don't want them to be like references to other things. I want them to be like, this guy thought of a joke that didn't fit in the inside the main thing, so he just threw it on the bottom there. That makes me so happy. So
that's brilliant.
Yeah. So when I write my book, it's just going to be full of footnotes that are not helpful at all. So
yeah. Just little diversions that are funny to you. And maybe someone else will think is funny too.
That's all I need. I need somebody to think that I'm as funny as I think I am. So.
Hey, same.
Boom. All right. So that's round one. That's kind of the first date round. Get to know you, get to know some things about you. Know that we all can't spell things. Thank you for that. It means a lot to me. All right. So now this is like where we really want to get to know you. We want to get past the filters, past the whatever. But I just want to know like who Sharon really is stuff. How does that feel?
Yeah.
Your eyes got really big.
It's like, I felt the spotlight drop.
Ooh, okay. Sounds good. All right. So what does it take to be like your best friend? Like, what do you look for in a friend? What means a lot to you as a person to be in a close relationship with you?
Yeah. I think a really important thing to me is someone who sees me. And I don't mean literally, but who truly like understands the motivations behind why I'm saying or doing the things that I'm saying or doing. Yeah. A lot of times I can be super overly direct and it might come across as like one thing, but I think when people know that it's coming from a good place or coming from my heart of love and care and compassion, that's why it has to be like direct, in that way. I think when someone can appreciate like the reason why like I'm communicating in a certain way, so I think coming from a background or a childhood or, whatever of not really having like a quote unquote loud voice. And then finding my figurative voice later on in life, I have this urgency to like tell everyone exactly what I'm thinking and feeling. Yeah. And sometimes people get it. And then some people look at you like you have 10 heads, like, what are you even talking about? But I've realized that it's because some people haven't experienced the level of maybe grief, sorrow, sadness that I've experienced. And so I think when I say I want someone to see me, I think even if they haven't walked through specifically what I've walked through, to be able to have empathy for the way that I'm processing that thing, if that makes any sense. Yeah.
I think something that I'm learning right now is with people like I'd never ever want to tell somebody that's been through like something really hard, I know what you're going through, because like you're like something that's happened in your life is like, oh, well, yeah, I didn't, they messed up my order at Chick-fil-A. And like that's not the same level. Like your dog just died and I didn't get the right food at Chick-fil-A. That's not the same thing.
Right. Yeah.
Like I do know what pain is, and I do know what these kind of things are, but to have the intentionality to not say, I know what you're going through, but just to be there and listen and try to learn and do better. That's huge.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know that that's like the human tendency, right? To like want to identify with the exact same thing. But I think it's really about identifying with the pain, not really the actual thing, you know? Like, and pain is relative, I guess, to each person. So
earlier you mentioned the Enneagram. What Enneagram number are you?
So I always love like asking people to guess. I just want to know, do you have any guesses?
I'm not a great guesser. but based off of what you're like, the way you're saying things, man, I really don't know. Like, I want to say you're a 9 or a 2, but I have no idea. So,
yep, I'm a 2.
There you go. Okay.
So you're close.
Some of my best friends are 2s, and I like the things you were saying, like really kind of hit in on some of that stuff. Even the like finding your voice a little bit later in life and like trying to stick up for yourself. The helper in you is just
totally.
Like it's finding some new lanes.
Yeah. And the Enneagram is just helpful just for language. Like I've been on a whole journey in the past, 15 years or so of that self-discovery. And I've done temperament stuff and done, like different counseling and stuff like that. And it's just so great to just have the language for it. Not that like one thing is better than the other, but it's just helpful, I've found. So, yeah.
Yeah. There's some people that like, they stub their toe and they're like, oh, I stubbed my toe because I'm a 4. And I'm like, nope, you stubbed your toe. And
yeah, exactly.
Or
because you're a human.
Yeah. And so there's some things that it's like, I understand that, like, I just think they're all, like you said, they're helpful tools, and like, it'll give you language, it'll give you whatever. So
sure.
I love like the IMDb, or no, that's the movie website.
What movie are you? Are you talking about? Are you talking about the BuzzFeed quizzes? Like what?
Oh man,
what romantic comedy are you? Okay.
Yeah. All right. So nope, we're there now. What romantic comedy are you?
Oh man, I don't really.
Or do you wish you could be?
I don't even know if I have one. One does not come to mind. However, I do, and this isn't like a romantic comedy. I don't think it falls. I think it's like a Disney movie, but it's Enchanted. Okay. When the girl comes from like a cartoon and into real life, and she's like, naive and all this stuff, and comes to the real world. I think that's hilarious, but I don't know if that's considered a romantic comedy or not.
You know what? There's no rules right now. I just threw that one out there in the middle of nowhere. So
there we go.
The fact that you had an answer means a lot to me. Thank you for doing that on the fly. Mine would probably be the Bourne Identity, the Jason Bourne movie. That's romantic.
Your romantic comedy?
No, not at all. I will protect my woman.
Jason Bourne. Yeah. Oh, I guess so. Okay, I can see it.
That. Yeah, and I think he falls in love with Julia Stiles. I feel good about that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's not too much of a stretch.
It's a little bit of a stretch, but thank you.
I mean, I'm tracking with you. What could be more romantic than killing people for the person you love? Oh, you might have to edit that out. I'm kidding.
Yeah, there are several sheriff's officers waiting at your door when this interview's over. So sorry about that. Ooh. All right, so let's keep moving. Let's get far away from that. All right, so this is something that you probably wouldn't talk about on the internet too much, and so I don't even know this about you. Would you consider yourself a jealous person? And if so, like, where does jealousy pop up in your life?
Yeah, I wouldn't consider myself a jealous person. I guess I would want to know how you would define jealous, because I feel like people might have different I guess you could throw
envy in there too. So envy may be a clearer word for you on that.
Yeah. So. I think in my younger years, I was jealous of, going back to the voice thing, I was jealous of people who could speak their minds without consequence. I was really jealous of people who just didn't care about what people thought of them and just lived like they wanted, just did what they wanted, not in like a immoral way or anything like that, but just in a I want to do this, so I'm going to do this. I think, again, finding my voice has really freed me from that. And I've been able to be more myself and not be afraid to look stupid, or not be afraid to, look foolish. Or if I try something, I don't have to win at it. I'm just trying it. Like everything is just, it's that like trial and error. Like there's no, acing something the first time you do something. So I think, I want to give a truthful, honest answer. And maybe I'm not seeing myself from all angles because I'm inside myself. But I don't think I would consider myself a jealous person now, I really admire the people I think I once had previously been jealous of.
That's a cool growth point. That's awesome.
Yeah, because when you realize that there is so much room at the table for everyone to win, for everyone to have a voice, for everyone to have a seat at the table in whatever you're doing, in podcasting and songwriting and, worship leading and XYZ, like you can put whatever you're doing, even if that same that person is doing the same thing as you, there's still room because there is no one who is you, and you're unique in your voice and your expression, in what God has like designed and gifted you to do. And so once you realize that, there's really no room for jealousy. There's like, oh my gosh, you're amazing. How did you do that? Or, there's this like celebration of those people who are doing it. Like you said, that apparently I am, which it's not a thing. I don't know.
No, but like, even in this, like I just listening to you right now, I am proud to be your friend, because that's not a kid answer. The kid answer is like, they're doing this, I wish I could do this. Or I see it with my kids all the time. It's like, he's got a ball, I don't have a ball. Like, give me the ball.
Yeah.
But like that kind of jealousy, and it's easy to do even as adults. So we see people that are doing it, but we don't know what's gone into it. But instead of it being I can't do this, like they're doing it, I can't do this. It's I admire that, and I'm going to keep growing me to, if I want to do that, I'll keep growing myself to do that too. But it's not an all or nothing situation. It's totally, I can learn from them. I can see what they're doing. I admire them, and let's just keep trucking at it together. That's fantastic.
Yeah. And I think that really plays into songwriting a lot, because, if we're talking about, writing a worship song, right? According to Ecclesiastes, like there is nothing new under this. There's no great song that you could write that's revealing anything new that hasn't already been said. But the distinction and the importance of you writing your own song is no one else in history has existed that is you. And no one has the voice that you have. And I'm not talking like tone, but perspective, all of those things, life experience. And even though you might be saying or singing something that has already been said before, because you're saying it, someone else might hear it for the first time coming from you. Like, because it has come from you, because maybe like they heard that same message from, XYZ worship leader or songwriter or pastor or whatever. But for some reason, when you said it to them, something happened. A light bulb went off. They just got it. And it's super frustrating, because in our first year of marriage, like I've realized that it's so annoying to me when I tell my husband, like, for example, like, oh, like you need to eat more, protein, or you need to eat more food during the day. And then I've been saying that to him for months and months and months. And then he listens to a podcast or something, and he's like, hey, you know what? I think I need to eat more protein and more frequently during the day. And I'm like, what? Don't you know that I have been telling you this? And that's just a silly example of why like people need to keep hearing it. And even though it might be the same thing, they need to hear it from you, from your voice, from your vantage point. So yeah, little lessons of marriage as well in there.
Thank you for that. Just a side note, and I forgot about this until right now, and I wanted to talk to you about it. Are you still like beast mode in the gym? You went through like a power lifter Sharon mode, and
yeah, I did take a break from CrossFit. For years I was a CrossFit coach, did the whole thing, like worked full time at a gym. Nowadays I'm still working out. I'm not in as CrossFit shape as I used to be. I still enjoy like a good intense workout every once in a while, but like, man, throughout the pandemic, throughout 2020, and then preparing, for a wedding and getting and all that stuff, like I got soft. not like just like bodily, but like mentally, because it's hard mentally. It's really a big mental thing, but yeah, I miss it. I just kind of do my own like regular 30-minute workouts. Nothing too crazy these days.
That's fantastic.
But yeah, every once in a while I need to get in there and throw some weight around.
Yeah. All right. So I did CrossFit for a couple of years. Obviously I've let it go too. I've gotten soft in more than one way. But so in CrossFit, what are your favorite moves?
I loved the Olympic movements. So like the clean and jerk, the snatch. I actually exclusively trained in Olympic lifting for like a year and a half, like in my CrossFit state, in my CrossFit years or era, I should call it. I just loved it. I did like,
I like
and I did like
a whole
competition.
Era.
Yeah, right. It was like 5 years. It was like 5 good years. It was like 2015.
That's an era. That feels good.
2015 to like 2020. But yeah, in there, I even, had like a coach, and I did a competition and, like it was super fun, but I loved those movements. Yeah. So the Olympic movements.
For me, it was always the squats. I don't know why, but I could, the squats sounds bad. I did the squats. That sounds like after a bad night at Taco Bell. So,
I'm so sorry to hear that.
No, but like a good back squat or front squat. And I don't know why, but I really enjoyed things overhead. So like an overhead squat, like I just was in the zone on those.
Those are like the
I'm
hardest.
not saying that I was great at them. They were just the ones I enjoyed the most. So. And what are you talking about the hardest? Yeah. Snatch is not easy.
Yeah. Well, it's the overhead movement, but yeah, that's right. I do love a good squat. I really love the front squat actually, as opposed to the back squat, I guess because of the clean, because that's like the position you need to clean. So yeah.
Anybody who doesn't
talking about CrossFit now. It's going to become a CrossFit podcast.
Welcome back to CrossFit with Mike and Sharon. Today we're talking about the squats.
And then that's when every real CrossFitter would tune out as soon as we called it the squats.
Yeah. So this is the last episode of Maybe You're Like Me, and welcome to the first episode of CrossFit with Mike and Sharon.
We'll get like
some
spot.
Heavy guitar riffing stuff.
Yeah.
Some explosion sounds.
I know a guy, Lance Herring. You heard of him? He's pretty good.
He's a good guy. We'll talk. We'll get some shredding happening. All right. One last question. We got kind of out of the zone there for a second. You got me talking about the squats again.
I'm so sorry.
All right. This is a question that I'm asking everybody on the podcast, and it could be a simple thing or it could be a super deep thing. But what's something you're learning right now?
I think I kind of alluded to it earlier about communicating directly. Yeah. So it's been a learning journey to, speaking directly and, speaking honestly. However, one of the things that I'm learning and that marriage is helping me learn is to not coat, like not like sugarcoat, but like to learn how to communicate like kindly and directly, where like sometimes in the moment I'm just like cutting right to the chase and like saying the thing, but I really am learning that there's certain people that like that direct communication. There's other people who like, prefer a more indirect mode of communication. And I think even as a leader, like I have to be constantly like asking myself that question, like, oh, how does this person receive information the best? And so like, how do they like to be communicated to? I like really direct, communication, but I know that's not like the case for a lot of people. And so I have to what I want to get better at and what I want to learn, and I'm learning in process, is to communicate the truth, not watered down, not unfiltered, but in a kind and loving and easily receptive way. Because again, truth has no value if it's not received properly. If someone, it needs to know that, you've got food in your teeth or something. And I go, hey, you got a piece of whatever hanging out your mouth, you big weirdo. I don't know. Not that I always say that, but it wouldn't be received as well as if I was like, hey, let me take you aside really quick and say, hey, just check your teeth really quick. And you know what I'm saying? That's a stupid example.
Would you like the Mike Burns patented method on that exact scenario?
Yes, I would.
You can do it even in a group of people. You just say, as I did this to a lady at our church the other day. She walked in and she had the tags, the store tags from the store hanging out the back of her dress. And I had never met this woman before. And so I had no place in telling her this. But I said, hey, are you the type of person that would like to know if you have the tags hanging out of your dress? And
yes, I am.
Or, hey, are you the kind of person that likes to know if there's something in your teeth? Because if you do, have I got a story for you?
That's great. That's so great, Mike.
That's how I do it. And so, and that's a different one. But when I'm at the store and I don't know where something is, I like to ask anybody in the store, if I was blank, where would I be? So if I was a pair of socks, where would I be? And that it just reframes the question just a little bit and gets people on your team.
Mike, can you teach me how to do are you selling this patented thing? Listen, is there anywhere I can buy it?
It's $9.99 a month. It's on my Patreon. Everybody go to patreon.org/Mike's Words. And it's fantastic. So I really got to learn how Patreon works. So
I know. You know what? Me too. I'm going to be setting up a Patreon just to be able to fund my music in a more fast, efficient way, because the current way is slow and tedious. But yeah. So it's in the works.
So, yep. So we figured out how to talk to people now. Good job.
Great.
All right.
Check.
So we've got this has been a tidal wave of serious and fun. And I love that about you. So, all right.
Glass case of emotion.
All right. So we're going to end this with our this or that, our final, I kind of call it the common ground round. This is maybe you're like me. So I'm going to ask you a couple this or that questions. You got your pen and paper and all that there?
I do. Handy dandy. Yep.
All right. So my goal is to see if maybe we're a little bit alike. Okay. Are you ready for this? All right. So we're going to start off.
Sure hope so.
As of yet, absolutely nobody's gotten 5 out of 5. I don't think we're going to get 5 out of 5. But that's just me being a pessimist. Are you ready?
Yes. Everyone else is going down.
Ooh, the competitive side comes out. All right. Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Night. Oh, crap. I already ruined it.
Well, in good news, so am I.
Pride comes before a fall, folks.
All right. I'm a night owl. Sharon's a night owl. Listen, we're 1 for 1 right now. I feel good about that.
Okay.
All right. This time, to yourself quietly, you can write it down on the piece of paper. All right. Would you rather do cardio or weight training? I write that one with you in mind because I know you are the CrossFit boss. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. I wrote weights. What did you write? She wrote.
Of course.
Weight training. There she is. Yeah. All right.
Ugh,
2 for 2. Sharon, are we going to do this? Is this going to be a miracle?
Totally.
All right.
Totally.
All right. This one's completely up in the air. I have no idea with you.
Okay. I'm ready.
Crunchy or smooth peanut butter?
No question.
All right. 3, 2, 1. I'm a smooth guy. We were doing so
crunchy.
Good.
The texture. We need the texture of the peanuts.
Oh, man. George Washington Carver is proud of you wherever he's at right now. All right. Beverage. Are you going coffee or tea? And just to keep it interesting, I'm going to give you the entire variety of tea. So you can go, if you're feeling a little Southern, you can go sweet tea if you want to, but coffee or tea. Here you go. 3, 2, 1. I wrote coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee.
Well,
Yep.
Okay. Can I just say, I wish I was a tea person. I want to be a tea person, but I can't. I can't be.
My, if you ask my wife, my heal all, like my cure all for everything, like if she's got like a stomach ache or a cough, is tea with honey in it. Or like if like her leg got chopped off, I'm like, babe, let's get you some tea and honey. Okay. So,
yeah.
But at the end of the day,
Windex.
The only time I ever want tea is when I'm sick. So
yeah, same. Exactly. Yeah.
Or if I'm at like a good like barbecue restaurant, that's when you want some good tea there too.
You can't get any good sweet tea up here in New Jersey, though. I'm just going to say it.
Sorry about that. All right. Last one. We're doing pretty good. Okay. I feel good about this so far.
I feel good.
Last round. Watching TV, end of the night. Are you going to watch a reality show or a documentary?
Oh, totally.
Also, sorry about my handwriting. This is just a large scribble, but it starts with a D. It's documentary. What'd you put?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Yes.
Do you have any favorites?
We just watched the Lucy and Desi one. I was like a huge I Love Lucy fan growing up. And so we watched the Lucy Desi one. It's so good. It's so interesting. Yeah. And I had this like epitome while watching. I was like, I think I've been inspired by this woman, like subconsciously my whole life. Cause I was, from the ages, 6 to 12, I was like obsessed with Lucille Ball and just how physical she was. And like, just so, she was such a pioneer in like that, female comedian space. And so she's such a boss, but yeah, totally documentary all the way.
Yeah. You can't beat a good documentary. So
yeah.
That's fantastic. All right. So, for everybody who may not have met you yet or that wants to kind of get to follow you, maybe keep up with your Instagram or follow along with your music, where's a place that people can like keep up with you?
Yeah, on Instagram, at Sharon the Bird. So SharonTheByrd.
Ooh, throw a Y in to really throw them off.
Well, Bird is my maiden last name, so that's just going to forever be my handle. And then on Spotify or Apple Music, you can follow me on Spotify at Sharon Bird. So just my first and last name, Sharon Bird.
Listen, I was talking to Sharon about this before we started recording, but her debut, is it an EP or is it an album? What's the official term?
EP. Yep.
All right.
The Process EP.
Yeah. The Process EP is so phenomenally good. And I listened to it a couple nights ago when I was preparing for today, and your song Lie to Me has been stuck in my head for like 3 days now. So
yay.
That's such a good song. Do you have a favorite song from that EP still?
Thank you so much. I am partial to The Conclusion. So I think that's probably one of my favorites on that EP. So yeah, that EP is very near and dear to my heart. Just a little backstory. The Process was written as a process of dealing with my mom's diagnosis. So it was 2016 when I found that out. And then I started writing the songs for that in 2017 and then was able to release it in 2018. She got to listen to all those songs before she passed, which was like such a gift. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And it still is a gift to me because I actually receive, messages here and there saying, hey, this has really helped me. I just lost my mom or I just lost my dad. And, this project was really helpful in helping me put language to the things that I'm feeling. And if that's not what it's about, I don't know what is. So that's just, that's one of the blessings of pain is you get to just have that perspective of seeing people and being with them, even though you're not physically with them. So, yeah.
Sharon, I've loved this so much. Thank you for being a part of this.
Oh, I've loved it too. So great.
Okay. Listen, I'm going to just make this a weekly podcast. Actually, I'll see you next week for Sharon and Mike CrossFit Adventures.
Yes.
So.
Yep. Everyone tune in on SoundCloud. I'm kidding.
Wasn't I right? Sharon is the absolute best. Sharon, thank you so much for being here again. And for all of you listening, thank you for joining us at Maybe You're Like Me. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave a good review. It helps a ton, and it lets more people know about what kind of great podcast this is. Thanks, guys. We will see you next week here at Maybe You're Like Me.